That's not going to happen. Hey, you know what? You can learn something from a real lady for once.
I hope these guys weren't paid 23% more than me.
Why not consider the possibility, the radical notion, that you could be wrong?
We want an open conversation of ideas. You guys can't be grown adults enough to literally wait 10 minutes to the point where we open the floor.
Hello everybody.
That's very strange. Please, thank you for your enthusiasm. Thank you for your enthusiasm. We can get on with the show. Thank you.
Given how firmly I believe in affirmative action in my bedroom, that's a very strange allegation. I've taken some time out of my busy schedule, being fabulous and doing my hair, to prepare a speech for you. Well, a few remarks, really. Feminism is cancer. Thank you very much.
Happened on the American campus this decade. We have campuses across the country. We have armies.
So to explain feminist jazz hands, I'll give you a few different variants because even the standard jazz hands can be triggering for some. Now, if you want to add a little pizzazz to your jazz hands, you can upgrade them to pizzazz hands, which is a way that some feminists express their displeasure. There are, of course, for the lesbians in the audience, scissor fingers. And if you feel particularly excited on any given occasion, you can use sizzle fingers, which I like to do something like this. Which is the tearing away of the old patriarchal superstructure and the replacement of it with whatever the fuck you guys believe in.
Not only disinvited, but when they're invited, people come in to disrupt. They don't want others to hear. Get the fuck out of here! But I'm the wrong person to be with.
Time to listen up, you silly liberal fruitcakes. I came out and I wanted to tell some jokes. Let's do some reality checks here. Do you have any idea, sir, how pathetic it must be to be you? These people wanted to come out and have a good time, hear a few jokes, some thoughtful discussion, but your head pops off the pillow in the morning with, oh, how can I be a professional victim today? Let me go in. And screw with their act just because, oh my God, your parents didn't tell you that your opinion wasn't worth that much.
Stop talking to us like children! We wouldn't be here if you weren't spreading hate speech!
Example of what I'm talking about.
Look, they're confused. They're confused. You know why? Because I'm not your gender studies professor who has to cater to your trigger warning, microaggression, safe space bullshit.
Stop spreading hate speech!
I didn't want to do this. I want to go out and tell a few jokes. You created this monster. We have to go 10 more minutes of this. Let this reverberate. Let it be a life lesson. This monster right here that you're so afraid of, the face you see in your nightmares, was created by social justice warrior assholes like you.
Keep your hate speech! Keep your hate speech! I will never speak your hate speech! I will never!
Utter madness.
And now you have this wonderful faggot. That's what happens. Okay, we're good.
Darling, you can call me what you like.
Oh, okay, there we go. I wanted to come out here and tell a few jokes. We want to have a thoughtful discussion. We want an open conversation of ideas. You guys can't be grown adults enough to literally wait 10 minutes to the point where we open the floor. And unlike leftists, guess what? We don't try and ban you when your speakers come to school. We don't show up and protest and call, oh shut up. You just got owned and now you're trying to come back 5 minutes later. The third store. Oh, they're run by you, George Costanza, you androgynous little amoeba. And by the way, the opinions are yelling out, they're not even your opinions. They're your opinions from your gender studies professor, and the really reason you picked it was because you thought it was your best chance at getting laid. You just decided to walk on in to try and pick up chicks at the San Francisco retread pot-smoking drum circle, only to realize that your very glance in the direction of a woman causes a barren womb. Crying out loud, listen. Nobody here wants to hear your opinion that much. Here's what's so crazy. You couldn't wait 5 minutes. Unlike leftists, we have an open panel and a Q&A session because we want an open idea. Oh, I'm a racist. There you go. That's a new one. Where'd you learn that one in Social Human Studies 101? Right next to the giant, I don't know, wild boar I couldn't see. Who said there's no such thing as fat chicks. Guess what? If you think there aren't, you are one, okay? Yeah, I did. No, it's okay, because I got some here, so screw you. I have a faggot pass and a fat pass today. At least when you go back to like Christina Hoff Summers' days, self-professed Democrats, hippies, the retreads that you guys want to be, at least they thought they were fighting the system. They thought they were trying to create transparency. They really thought they were for free speech. You people are openly and completely against it. You're not fighting for free speech. You're not fighting for rights. You're fighting for the right to be a pussy and not your opinions that you don't like.
Goes back to the early 1990s when the seeds of today's intolerant, censoring, victim-focused activism, when they were planted. It was 1992, and I attended the annual meetings of the National Women's Studies Association in Austin, Texas. And I was there, not so much to participate, but to observe. I was writing an article. I was working on my book, Who Stole Feminism, and I was persuaded that this conference would provide some interesting material. Now, the conference organizers had imbibed the lessons of a theory of feminism known as intersectionality. So on the first day, participants were instructed to break down into little groups based on their grievances and healing needs. So there was a group for Asian American women, African American women, old women, Jewish women, disabled women, fat women. None of it was then.
Oh, it is.
It was then.
There is, of course, a point at which you can't tell us women anymore, but believe me, it is different.
The final thing I want to say, come on, please just zip it, okay? For a second. Listen, you spoke, I gave you the right to have a question, and now let me finish answering. No, you don't. You don't have the right without me giving it to you. Excuse me. Let me finish the point. Okay, let me finish the point. These people who are yelling out, the reason they are so angry, the reason they are so angry, the reason they are so incapable of hearing this is because unlike you, the people who are conservative, intellectual thinkers, you've heard all of their opinions before. From every single mainstream news outlet, from every single film that's been made in the last 20 years, from every single professor. This is the first time they're hearing these false views. That's a stark contrast and tell me who's thinking for himself.
Let me suggest another reason why people of colour, to use the left's preferred expression, are sometimes a little reluctant to express libertarian or conservative points of view. And I'll tell you something that happened to me at American University a few days ago. Guy lined up for the Q&A, very politely, black guy, he said, I was physically threatened by Black Lives Matter on my way in here, just for coming to hear you speak. And if you don't believe me, it's on camera. He was...
Wait, did she just change her mind?
What?
Did she just change her mind? I think I felt a shift because she yelled shit out.
She interrupted me with a bogus buzzword, I'm convinced. And what he said to me was, what do I say? What do I say to black people who have bought into this nonsense? when I just want to go about my business listening to a talk. And I said to him, well, they are guilty of the worst kind of racism. They're guilty of the kind of racism that suggests all black people must think alike. They are guilty of the kind of racism that exists.
Senator, thank you for your enthusiasm. If you please be seated. Thank you.
They're guilty of the kind of racism that suggests that all black people must think the same. They're just in the same way that people who have problems with me being a gay conservative are guilty of a sort of homophobia, a real homophobia, which actually does delegitimize and belittle a particular group and sort of put them in a box. And he said, well, what do I say to these people? And I said, well, look, here's what you say to them. You go out, you calmly and politely say, if you believe that the civil rights struggle matters at all, if you believe that the fight to allow black people to have their voices heard, to have an equal footing with whites in this country, if you believe in the restitution and reparations after slavery, if you believe that it is an important goal to hear black voices, hear mine. Because not every black person agrees with Black Lives Matter. Not every gay person believes in the gay lobby. Not every woman is a feminist. And this kind of identitarian politics that we heard from the front, that crucifies people who step outside of their racial or sexual groups because they have the wrong ideology, is the worst sort of bigotry. And those people... If you're wondering why people of color are sometimes scared, not scared in the way social justice warriors pretend to be scared because a conservative is on campus, but black people are actually scared because somebody got assaulted at American to hear black voices, hear mine. Because not every black person agrees. If you are wondering why there aren't more people of color standing up for these sorts of opinions, you might want to pull out a mirror.
That women are cheated out of, almost 25% of their salary. That is based on looking at all women and all men in the workplace.
Please,
The highest earners!
Excuse me, at the top now, I hate for you to lose your voice. Could you please keep comments to the end of the question and answer section? Thank you.
The highest earners are Asian men. They out-earn white men by a margin larger than the gap between men and women. Check your facts and your privilege. For those who want to entertain thought and not simply slogans, which is not, in my mind,
That's your history!
How many hours do they work, Baylor? My sources are every competent economist who has ever evaluated the wage gap. Every one of them. But you, sir, if you really are interested in learning something, I suggest you listen on NPR. 2 weeks ago, they had a show, Freakonomics. They entertained a feminist economist from Harvard University. She was reporting on the latest data, and she said we can't find a smoking gun. We look at men and women in the workplace. Most of it is explained by...
It's fucking racist.
I'm pretty sure you know you.
One last thing. If it were really true that you could pay a man, you know, a woman 23 cents less than you pay a man, what intelligent employer wouldn't fire all of his male employees and hire only women?
For the first time, I think, at one of my talks, somebody who just was walking through the crowd, here to see my talk, was assaulted by a, of course, spoiled brat rich kid, social justice warrior, some preening little fag, maybe ashamed to suck dick, frankly, you know, who walked up behind him like the fucking coward he is, shoved him. This guy is like jacked as fuck, so he turns around and goes, "Bro, really?" And the little fag goes, "Ooh, what am I?"
About the Quran. Guess what? I wasn't there for the French Revolution. I can talk about it.
Everybody has a right!
The ideology of Islam has been bad for the last several decades, and it's not hate speech to say so. It's not racist. It's an ideology in a prescribed form of religion and law, and I don't like it.
You want me to not be safe on campus because of your
Here and dealing with garbage like this, and just like, hey, what's wrong? And I was just wondering if you could choose one major to really help people steer away from so they can stop making this really ridiculous stat. Which one would you suggest to get rid of at a university?
Gender studies should be abolished in all publicly funded universities. Gender studies, students who go to study gender studies, particularly at federal funded universities, come out dumber than when they went in. They come out believing lies, they come out with their critical faculties impaired, not improved. They come out more fragile than they arrived. They come out less able to have stable relationships with people, less able to cope in the world of work, less able to be functional, well-rounded human beings. Gender studies departments are damaging young people. They should be shut down.
This girl right here just yelled out that we were all racist. What, you just said you're not a girl? Am I just saying you D, the gender neutral? What's up? Yeah, what's up? She just yelled out, you just yelled out that all of us were racist. And then you asked a question. And then you asked a question. And the question was?
Why are there only white people on your panel?
There you go. It sounded better when you were yelling with a chorus of backdrop. Let me explain. Okay, can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Do you want an answer? Would you like an answer? Here's what to, no, you don't know the answer, sweetheart. Let me answer it for you. Listen, you have, right here on this panel, you have a gay British Trump supporter, okay? You have a lifelong registered Democrat, open feminist, who's not a third-wave feminist, and you have a French-Canadian Christian conservative. So you may ask, why is there only white people? Because the only diversity you don't care about is that of intellectual diversity.
The best way to deal with people that you don't agree with, whether they are conservatives or progressives, is the full glare of the spotlight, because you should have the confidence in your own opinions, and you should have the fortitude and courage to believe that you can beat them in a fair, open marketplace of ideas. And if you believe those things, you have nothing to fear from any speaker.